Welcome back to the Chill Sounds and Breakdowns podcast. We got some heavy hitters here today. I'm gonna just move the camera over so it just catches your little wave. No, we got some freaking badass heavy hitters today, and I'm really excited to talk to them. But we got motherfucking Spineless up in this bitch today.
Oh yeah, yes sir.
I know we already you introduced yourselves to me, but we talked the whole name thing. I'm sure I forgot by now. So if you guys want to go around and just say your names and where you guys play in the band, that'd be cool.
Oh, okay. I'll go first. I'm Alex, and I play guitar.
I'm Matt, and I scream.
Luke, I play the drums.
Kobe, I play guitar.
Dope.
Easy.
Wait, so no one plays bass?
His name is Mac.
Yeah.
Really? Oh shit! Really? Holy
Mac,
shit!
our bassist. Yeah.
Bass guitar is for chumps. As someone that played
Hot
bass,
take, say here
someone that
first.
played bass for years, you don't need one actually.
So do you guys do it? So it's all MIDI?
Yeah, it's all
Pre-recorded.
yeah.
Oh, just pre-recorded.
Yeah, we have the tracks, and then he set it up so where it sometimes it'll just go to front of house, and sometimes we'll have it actually go to an amp and cab.
Oh, okay.
So we have the stage sound.
But that's cool. You don't have to worry about an actual having a bassist. I'm sure with everybody being able to play instruments and stuff, you guys can write the parts yourselves. So
Yeah, and we could
Yeah.
if we wanted to. It's just whatever,
Have you guys never had a bassist or
Not with this band.
not with this band?
Yeah.
Okay, then just kind of
People-
you guys formed and were you know what? I don't want to look
Yeah.
for another person.
People ask to play bass, but Mac does the job. He does the job.
They're not as good as our pre-recorded track.
But it's a whole nother deal you're gonna have to deal with. You know what I mean? It's not only can you play these parts, but it's are you even gonna be cool
Yep.
to hang out with?
Yeah.
And the chemistry is a giant ass thing that you need in bands, and finding band members is the worst. Especially if you already have a core group that you guys know we get along, we can write music, and then having to add someone else to the mix, it takes a while for you to find that right person. You can find fill-ins, sure, but I mean, if you guys figured out a way to get away with not having to have fill-ins and shit, and I'm fuck
Easy.
it,
Yeah.
this person we don't have to mess with.
I didn't even think about fill-ins. That's a good point. That's just
Yeah.
an extra person to have plans that coincide with other people's
You know what I mean?
plans. Interesting.
They can't show up. You know who shows up as long as they're charged up? That Mac.
Mac keeps getting backed up, dude.
They've done shows without me. There was a weekend where I was out of town, and they had 2 shows, and it was fine with the 3 of them because he's on guitar, and most of our parts are the same,
Uh-huh.
And then the bass backing track is
it's
good to
worked
go.
out.
Yeah, so we can play
Yeah.
without one or the other guitars.
Yeah, we can play with one less member instead of
So you're still
having
working with
5
3?
people. Yeah.
All of a sudden, one of you's not going to show up to one too many shows, and she's you know what? It's going to be a 3-piece now.
Yeah.
But you guys just played last weekend, right? Or this
Yes, last weekend.
last weekend or
Last
last
Wednesday.
week, right? Yeah. Who was headlining that?
It was a San Antonio band.
Oh,
I
okay.
Am Air.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that was one of the ones that Daniel set up. But no, man, I was listening to your guys' music, and it's really heavy, and I'm trying to remember what it reminds me of, but the vocals are the ones that kind of freak me out. They're real creepy. I like heavy and vocals, but I don't know the style that you record them. It gives it that extra, I don't know, just intensity and because I find myself with the cadences and rhythms that you guys put in it. I'm just wanting to do tough guy face. I'm just walk around. I'm just menacingly. I'm I like this. So is this the first time you guys have been in a band together, or have you guys done other projects together?
This would technically be my 3rd band.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Who have you done before?
We were in. I was in. My first band was God Ends Here,
Okay.
and that didn't really work out too well. But I'm still kind of close with some of those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't have to, I guess, end bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they were both in that band.
Oh, okay.
And then all 4 of us were in Despise.
Yep.
Oh, really? Oh, shit. Okay.
And then it just we naturally ended up here.
Into this. What kind of, is it just stuff that you guys had been writing before, when you were in Despise, or did it kind of bleed over here, or just kind of wanted to shift into something?
It's kind of your
To me, it feels like it went a different direction.
Yeah.
away from the heavy and more to like groovy and heavy with, you know, more. I don't know. There's more influence drawn there, I guess, from different things. Of like, this is technically new metalcore, I guess. Is that what you would consider it, Matt?
Yeah.
New metalcore. Yeah. So that's a different direction for sure than Despise was.
Yeah, I kind of started this band like after my last band kind of ended.
Mm-hmm.
I started this with just like the name, and then I knew someone from Houston that was in another band, Brendan. Shout out Brendan.
Shout out Brendan.
Alpha Virus. And yeah, I didn't know how to play instruments. I only had him for drumming. So I kind of just I asked him if he could ghostwrite some instrumentals, and that's kind of how I started Spineless.
Okay.
And then COVID hit, so it was like a half year, and then got these guys together. Started playing shows. Started writing our own stuff.
Oh, okay. So you guys have now like written stuff actually as like an ensemble now.
Yeah. The first song we released was Glassblower, and that was with all of us involved.
Yeah.
That's the first one you guys did.
Yeah. That's like as a full unit.
I was listening to it, but like in the order of like the way Spotify puts it. So like, and then that one like hit. I'm like, oh, this sounds different. Like I was like, hold on. So I like noticed it in me because I looked and I was like, and that's the one that popped. I was like, oh, Glassblower. Like I remember that. But and even because like, and I noticed because it was like a different cover art. So I was like, oh, okay, this must be like written in a different. But now it makes sense.
Yeah.
That was like when you guys all wrote it together.
I feel like a lot of everything that's starting to come after that is following that direction of the way Glassblower went. So,
that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm liking it. It's fun. It's all
It's
new
a little
stuff.
more, I guess, a little more new metal than like the first EP. But it's mostly him. He like will be like, hey guys, I have some material. It'll be like a bunch of songs and we're like, yeah, these are great, we're gonna use them. Like, we just don't know when, but we're gonna just use them as is, you know.
They're here. So you do a lot of the writing then, Kobe?
Yeah.
Okay.
I sit at home all day and I just record stuff, and I send it to them to see if they like it. So
nice. I feel like that's because like from what I was hearing, like everybody kind of lives like in a different area. So one thing that I've been talking to a few like people about is how even with people spread out, like, so because of like being able to record your own stuff at home and like getting ideas, like it's so easy to still be able to write as a unit without, you know, necessarily getting together. It's still like, I think necessary, obviously, like to get together and like practice as a whole, as a band. But being able to at least get the idea, it's like, hey, I have an idea now. How do I show it to somebody?
Yeah.
Let me just track it. Here's a quick idea. Like, do you like that? Oh, okay, yeah. Maybe send me something back if you guys, like, the more people like have their own ways to record and things like that is definitely, it's definitely a game changer as far as like for, you know, bands starting out and everything to be able to track their own ideas and demo. Because thinking about it now, like going into the studio like cold, just like without like doing any like pre-production or anything like that, like on your own would like sounds terrifying to me. Like I've only recorded a few times, but like once where I like had a project, an EP, and even with the pre-production that we had done, like I still wasn't ready, and I'm like, oh man, it takes a lot more work than that to come in like really prepared to do it. Yeah. But do you guys do a lot of like your own recordings, or do you guys go out to do it?
Usually we'll like demo the whole song, or mostly he will, and then we'll send the stems off to. We have a guy that we have kind of gotten to know.
Yeah.
Where's he? He's in Italy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, David. He's our guy. He'll mix and master and stuff.
Wait, what's his name?
David.
Yeah.
David Aroldi.
Wait, is that offensive? Like he puts
No,
that
I think that's
on
the
it?
proper way to say it.
I think that's right.
You have to do the little.
Yeah,
It's a David with an E at the end, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's like the way you
That's
do
the
it.
yeah.
That's just how I'm saying it.
But yeah, so even that, you know what I mean? Like you're freaking getting your stuff mixed by some guy, you know, across the ocean, and being able to work that way is really cool. Just like I said, you get stuff done, and especially with bands, all that stuff is kind of, you know, it's hard to get to know the right person to work with. So it's cool that you guys are like kind of have started already working with the same person and sending stuff back and forth. Because in music and things, like finding the right people to work with is kind of hard. And being a band that's funded all by yourselves, like going to the wrong person and be like recording a whole like EP and stuff and being like, that did not turn out the way I liked it. And it's like, look, I'm out this money. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way to return it. Like, you got a service kind of thing. But that's a big deal. How long have you guys been for, like, this band been formed for?
I don't know, Matt, with like a year?
About a year.
About a year?
About a year is when Kobe started sending his ideas to me.
That's when it started.
Yeah.
Because at first it was just kind of like you said, it was just you guys like kind of starting ideas. How did COVID like work for you guys? Did you end up just like, I guess, holding up and just like writing, or?
Yeah, Kobe's had like 10 instrumentals
Oh my
already
God.
ready.
You really do
And
sit
he's-
down and write.
Yeah,
Cheers,
he's
that's-
knocking them out pretty quick.
Oh my gosh, like
And
that's
too quick for me.
It's like, I'm done. I'm not done with the one you just sent. You send it 2 minutes later. It's like, I got another one for you.
Yeah, wait, I forgot to send this.
That's not a bad problem to have though. Like that's usually where you run into the issue and like, man, I don't have anything to write, like any inspiration. But if you guys are cranking out ideas and it's like, oh, let's put them out as quickly as you can. Do you guys work more as creating like individual projects like EPs and like albums is what you're working towards, or are you guys just into right now like releasing singles? Because I think you guys did one project and then now you have like some singles after it, or one single after it, right?
Yeah, kind of. I think we just kind of go with the flow, and we just pick what we think works best, like an EP or a single.
Okay. It's fine. The mic's not on. But yeah, that's what I was talking to a lot of like artists who were kind of like starting out, and it feels like you want to do both. You want to do like complete projects together, but like single seems to be a really nice way to put your creativity immediately out there. It's like an instant gratification almost.
Yeah.
To be like, hey, like we wrote this, like let's record it. All right, let's put it out.
Yeah.
And it's an easy way to keep relevant like throughout time. You know what I mean? Because the thing that sucks and the thing that I notice, I'm like, you know what? You can work really hard, and I worked really hard. Like we worked really hard on like with my band on our EP. We put it out, and it was like pretty cool for like a hot minute, and then it's like, oh, it's gone, and I'm like, we worked really hard on that, and like now like people are on to like the next thing, and I think for starting out, singles kind of work a little bit better because you can put something out 2 months later, put another one out 2 months later, and then like still remain relevant throughout the year.
because some people will do like a whole album and only like 4 songs.
Yeah,
Actually, people like, and then it just gets forgotten.
you know what I mean, and it sucks because that's a thing, and you might have that, you know, even when you release them, you get like a few songs that are, you know, that are get popular or whatever, but it still feels like you put a lot of work into this, and it's like it's gone in an instant. Especially these days, there's a lot of music coming out every week. There's new music coming out from every type of genre, every type of artist. But as far as like inspirations, where do you guys like kind of get? Because that's one thing that's normally kind of hard. Is there one or a few specific like artists that bring you guys kind of together? Because most of the times, like bands have like just wildly different like inspirations from each other.
At least for Kobe and I, we like 2010 metalcore.
Yeah,
Like Asking
good
Alexandria.
times, man. Oh my god, I have a running joke because one time we were playing a show and some guy came up to us and he was like, "You guys sound like 2008, 2010 metalcore," and we're like, "Is that offensive?" And he's like, "No, it's not offensive. Those were good times, man." And I was like, so anytime anyone's a fan of that, I'm always like, "Those were good times." Like, okay.
For me, I don't know. I feel like a lot of what I listen to doesn't necessarily influence the music as much, but I would say is like more direct to how we sound. I guess I'd say like, you know, Sworn In, like the Death Card is like a really, I mean, I honestly, for me, anything past the Death Card, garbage. But that album is really good.
Yeah. Okay.
And then like Alpha Wolf and the band that shall not be named that branched off of Alpha Wolf. If you know, shout out if you know what I'm talking about. But that kind of stuff, like it kind of has a little bit of It's a little chaos to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All the dissonant chords and stuff. It's like just sounds cool.
Yeah, yeah, that's the word that came to mind. Like, no, it didn't come to mind because I couldn't think of it. But I'm like, what is this? Like the sound that like kind of comes up, dissonance. Yeah, that's kind of really one thing that kind of involves like as far as when I was listening to your music, that and just like I said, the heavy just like step like music where just like feels like it's a mean like bobbing to the rhythm. Yeah, I really like that. I'm like, how does playing shows go? Because I feel like that's music that people like beat themselves up to, like that show. So I'm sure you guys have gotten like really like good like crowd responses like from that.
I'd say they're good for like for having our first show having been in August.
Your first show was in August?
Yeah, as this band, you know.
Really?
Yeah, so you know, we're people don't really know us. You know what I mean? So like we get as much, I guess, crowd response as like you would get from if you were at a show and like you didn't know the band but you were like, this is hard, like I'm gonna go in. You know what I mean?
Good,
like,
you know what I mean? It's like, you know, like a lot of times, and I get that, I do that a lot because like I run into a lot of new bands that I hear for the first time live, especially with like a bunch of the shows that are thrown around. Like there's a bunch of bands that jump on and I'm like, I don't know these people, so I'm hearing them for the first time like live.
Right.
So a lot of the times like I don't, and I feel like I'm like, I hope they don't think like I'm not like liking this, because most of the time I'm just like paying really close attention to, because I really like it. But I'm like, when I really like stuff, I'm just like standing there and just like, this is really fucking good. But like, if you look out in the crowd, it's just a guy just.
Right.
Like, that guy fucking hates us. Like, he thinks it sucks. And I'm like, no, I'm having a good time. I'm just
Honestly,
like not chilling.
Yeah, I feel like there's been shows where because I'm the drummer, I see everybody. I'm just watching everybody. I can see everybody. And I'll see somebody that, you know, maybe just standing there the whole time, and then that's the first person that'll come up and say something, and it's like, throw down, dude. Like, what are you doing?
Throw down,
Come on,
do something. It's like, if you like it so much,
show
push
us.
somebody.
Yeah,
Like,
show us you love it.
I take off my glasses when we play because I don't fall off my face.
Yeah.
And it's like dark, so I can never tell what's going on in the crowd. I'm like, do they like this? I don't know.
I wore my glasses one time performing, and I do the vocals, so I put them on, and I even like I got one of the little straps. I'm like, this way they don't fall down.
Yeah.
But like with the mic and everything, it just like they fogged up immediately. Like it was cold and it just fogged up, and I couldn't see shit. I'm like, fuck, and I just like threw them off. I'm like, damn, like I planned this all out. I got the strap and everything. I was ready to go, and I was like, screw it, I just won't see well. Like I'll just like fucking go.
Right.
Like as long as I know where the edge of the stage is, where I don't fall down, like I'm good.
Right.
So that means Chill Sounds was one of the first shows then that you guys did?
Yeah, I think it was technically the third.
Third?
Yeah.
Damn, you guys are busy in August then. Playing right away.
Yeah, what do we play now? Like 8?
I know our second show.
8?
Yeah, we've already played a shitload of
Cool shit.
But our first one was at J&J's Pizza.
Oh,
and
nice.
then after that, we went to San
R.I.P.
Antonio.
Holy shit, you played in San Antonio already?
With some friends and From Joy and Piss Poor.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
fucking badass.
and then after that, we played Chill Sounds.
Oh, shit.
And we had a good reception there. I was
It
surprised.
was a nice time. Like I feel like the type of crowd that was brought out was willing to be part of like every band that was there. You know what I mean? Because it was. I mean, it did flip back and forth. You know what I mean? Like between like hip hop acts, R&B acts, indie groups for like heavier stuff, and for the most part, like I'm pretty sure like everyone had a decent amount of like crowd reception going. And I think it's just the whole like atmosphere that was created that day. It's like if you're here, you're here to have a good time. Like show it. And most people were kind of just like, yep, it's a fucking great time. I love like watching like the fucking skate park just outside happening, and just like kind of like gave it a little like interesting vibe, you know what I mean? Like just it's like, oh, it's a nice summer vibe. It's like, let's have a good time. So I'm definitely glad that it's one of the early shows for you guys. That's cool. But I mean, fuck, 8 shows already? That's shit. You guys just like, you know what? Once you started playing, you were like, let's fucking play. Like
yeah, I think it'll be 9 on Tuesday. We just picked up a show. We're opening for Fox Lake and Cohen and Waste.
Oh fuck, when that's Tuesday?
Yeah, Haltom Theater.
Oh fuck.
Hell yeah.
I'll go to that.
Hell yeah.
I'll be there.
Hell
Fuck
yeah.
it.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
If you guys have any tickets?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Oh, you guys just picked it up, right? Oh, fuck it.
Yeah.
If you get one, then
yesterday
I'll
or whatever we picked it up.
Damn, just yesterday.
Yeah, 2 days ago or something. I
That's
don't remember.
fucking that's badass. Hell yeah! Like I'll definitely make it out to that. Cause I don't think Chill Sounds Day I was running around, so I got to see a few sets around that day, but everything else like, if something had to be done, it's like me and DJ were the ones like running around doing stuff. So I think yours was one of the set that I missed, and I was like mad about that. Because he was the one telling me about you guys. Daniel was the one that told me like about you guys, and I'm like, fuck, Lou, I need to listen to it. And then when I started listening to you, I was like, fuck, now I'm mad that I missed it. Like, but that's cool. You guys, what's kind of like is. All right, get your thought in order. So you guys are playing. It's about to be 9 shows. Is it really just like once you guys started playing, it was like fun, and you're like, fuck it, let's just play as much as possible?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think I speak.
I feel like Matt is the mastermind, so I always point at him. I
Yeah.
just play the drums.
I just play the drums.
Yeah, we get a lot of like offers just here and there. So like, I try to make sure everything lines up on the weekend, or if it's like during the week, make sure everyone's good with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we pretty much accept almost all of them except for December shows. So
December
we're taking
shows.
a little bit of a break.
Yeah. What do you guys think is like the plan for you next year? Like, what do you guys want to get done?
An EP.
An EP?
An EP with
Okay.
a bunch of new songs. We played one of them live recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited. I'm excited for that one.
For new music
Yeah,
already?
fun one.
Deep.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, I'm sure you can, with the amount of material Kobe over here is putting out, like, I'm sure I can put 2 EPs out next year.
Yeah, we already played these songs so much. I'm ready to
So
switch it up.
That's a weird thing I feel like bands run into is like writing and releasing old material, and then you're already like so far ahead of schedule. Like one thing is when I think the most recent single before our band broke up that we released had been like 2 years old, like when we released a single, and that's because we're really bad at like getting shit together and like doing. But I'm like, and people are like, yeah, that's really cool. And it's like, it's not, man. Like it's all right. Like it's okay. But like this song, and the thing that sucks is like this when it was written, like these songs would have hit like a lot better. So I think you guys are moving at a decent pace, but that's a thing that happens. It's like you write these songs, and if you're not quick to put them out, which gets difficult, you know what I mean? Because like recording, I mean, it's good that you guys figured out kind of a way to do your own recordings and send them out to get done, and kind of gives you kind of a quicker turnaround, like so you're able to put stuff out. But if you don't have enough, like special guest, hold on.
Oh, coffee delivery.
Don't run
Nice.
outside.
Didn't have white chocolate.
Oh, I don't care. Whatever you got.
Got a special
but
guest. There's no
latte.
white chocolate.
No white chocolate.
No white chocolate.
Coffee delivery.
Coffee delivery. Sponsored by wherever that's from.
Sponsored by
Avoca, give us money.
Avoca.
No, they're not gonna give us money. Take the label off. No,
Piece of tape.
it's like if they ain't paying us, that's a thing. I think I've seen that. Like, I forgot who did it. I think it was like Mayweather during one of the fights. He's like, "Did they pay?" Like, nope. He like took the bottles off of the thing. Yeah. I'm like, damn.
We used to like rip off the little
car
label, you know.
Yeah.
Insignia.
Oh, on the cars? Yeah, they do that on
If
some.
it's lower budget, it's like.
Plus, you can see, you can definitely, it's so obvious now when it's like a product placement in movies because it's just all over the place. It's like, oh, blatantly, this is a Coca. Like, who drinks the can holding it like right from the side and be like, Coca-Cola? Or candy bars annoy me the most when they like hold a candy bar with the like, to the scientists. I'm like, nobody holds it like that.
I think it's the same thing with cars.
Like
F-150 pulls up and it's the
Yeah,
front,
it's like
the best
cinematically-
angle of the F-150 you can get.
I think some of the most obnoxious ones I remember was like, I mean, I used to watch The Walking Dead,
Yeah.
but now it's in my opinion, it's bad. But there were some times when, you know, it's the apocalypse. They roll up in like a brand new like Buick. It's like, what's happening?
He's like, come on, man. Like,
yeah, it's like, this is so obvious.
You got to make money to pay for the show, I guess. But like, come on, subtlety,
it's
guys.
Like, it's all gassed up and everything. Like, what?
He's like, we'll be able to make it across town because this is eco-friendly. It has a new picture.
We have 40 miles a gallon.
Buick's new hybrid that they came out before.
But that's how like blatant it is. It really is. I forgot what show. Oh, I watch like. I fucking love these little sitcoms and shit, but like I watch a lot of New Girl, and like there was one,
good show.
I
Good show.
fucking love New Girl, but there is one part where like I guess Ford starts sponsoring, and they're like, yeah, like this is the new Echo thing, like it coaches you to drive. I was like, what? They just
I remember that.
I was like, they just did a hard, and they did two, I think that season. I'm like, they did a hard ass commercial, and it's like they didn't even like make
no
light
shame.
of it.
No shame.
That I was like, fuck it, you know what I mean? If you're getting paid, like I guess.
Interesting. I wonder what the like ramification. If they're like, all right, we want you to be, you know, this needs to play like an ad in the show.
Yeah.
I wonder if they tell them to be that like forward with it.
I think
Or if
either they
try
have to
hide
or they
it.
do it like to. I guess it's also funny how like
Yeah.
stupid like it's an actual commercial.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe they play on
I think
that,
they
yeah.
play on that. I mean, I guess you got to find a way to make it like
Yeah.
fun for yourself instead of, I guess.
I wouldn't be surprised if they get direction for that, because it's like, it's shocking how out of touch like corporate stuff can be. You know what I mean? Where they like, they'll like force a meme from like 7 years ago into a commercial. You're like, what's happening?
Those, like,
yeah.
what? Like, who is in? Which is cool because like you're starting to see a lot of like marketing teams now hire like a lot of like younger like people who are actually in touch with the market, and then like and they're making like stuff like TikTok is a giant thing like for brands and stuff like that.
Right.
But I've seen like a lot of like their departments like they have a lot of like more like younger people who actually get what they're posting about, and not like someone who's like Googling what a meme is. And like,
some 50-year-old businessman. Like,
But that's interesting. If let's if you guys had to sell out and get sponsored by something, what would you gladly be sponsored by? What could you back up?
Does it have to be music related?
No.
That doesn't help my answer.
Like anything. Like anything it's fine. Like if what's a product you stand behind that you'd be like, yeah, I'd take an endorsement from them.
I'd really like a Kemper. That'd be sick.
That'd be sick.
Those Rooster Booster energy drink.
QT.
That's a Rooster Booster
Sponsored by QT.
and Rooster Booster.
QT and Takis.
That's a good one, right?
This is a good one.
Just a whole ass QT sponsorship, dude. Just anything in the store.
Yeah, dude. I would say Meinl cymbals because I break them too fast, and I like them and they're expensive. So yeah, that would save me some money. I can't help but make it music related.
That works. Your last one, we gotta pick something.
Marco's Pizza. Best pizza ever. I'd sell out for
Pizza?
Marco's Pizza. Hell yeah.
Really?
I've never had Marco's Pizza.
I haven't either.
Where's Marco's Pizza?
Try it now. I know. I see them all the time. I just didn't know they're good.
I'm saving this.
Or Godfather's. Godfather Pizza.
Oh shit! Hold
That
on.
was pretty good too.
Are we starting a war here? Marco's Pizza and Godfather's Pizza. Check it. We're pausing this. We're ordering pizza from both of them.
Yeah. It's going down here. Yeah.
So we're gonna cut this and it's just like everyone has pizza in it. Fuck. So you guys are planning to hopefully do an EP next year. I'm assuming you said you're gonna take a little break as far as like from shows.
Yeah,
in
that's
December.
mainly just because December's pretty, full with like work related stuff and family. Like Christmas and stuff like
Some of the month a lot of stuff kind of slows down. Even like this, I'm doing. I think you guys are the second. I only have one more after you guys for the year to do, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna leave the rest of and it's this week, so, and then I have literally episodes up until the end of the year into next year, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm kind of like ahead of schedule. I'm like, cool, like I can take a whole month, and it's not really off because I have to edit all these like still, because it's all like in house too, which is good because like I get to put stuff out the way I want to at the time I want to. It's just like, oh, okay, it's not only getting these done, it's like, okay, now I gotta sit down and like edit everything. But it's been nice, man, like getting to talk to like honestly like tons of like different people. That's why initially I told Daniel, we were just thinking of ideas like to how to like get more attention around chill sounds and things like that. I'm like, oh, let's do something that highlights some artists, and like I'll do a podcast, and we'll do like 6 episodes. Like we'll just do a few of the artists leading up to the festival. And then I kind of didn't get organized because it was supposed to be like an episode a week up until the festival, so 6 weeks. Instead, I messed it up, and my scheduling, and it was just off, and I never like got everything ready, and I finally like did. It was only 2 weeks before the festival, so I put out 6 2 weeks before the festival. Jeez. But it was like interviewing, getting it done, like, and editing it that night, putting it out the next day, doing another one, doing it. I was like, that's too hectic. Like, but it was fun. Like, it was fun. Like, you got to like talk to these people, and like initially, like I started with some people who were my friends, some people who weren't, and then it just kind of like spread, and it started being more. Different people. I started doing like vendors, like the ramen shop that was at Chill Sounds. I just did them like the other week, so we did it at the like the actual like their storefront, their restaurant. So we did it there. I did some of the vendors there, and I'm like, oh, like it's for me. I'm just like, I get to talk to like cool people about like, especially if it's music. I'm like, oh, cool. Like I love talking about fucking music. Let's fucking like talk about that. And it feels like it helps like a little, because like especially with bands that like bands and musicians, artisans, everything like at a local level, it's kind of hard to look up stuff about like your like, even if like you like some of like the locals end up being like some of your favorite bands, but it's not like you got your own Wikipedia page like now or stuff that you can look up. So I feel like stuff like this is fun. It's like oh, you get to see a band you just saw playing, how their personalities are. Maybe like that makes you like them more or whatever, and it I guess makes you like personable to be able to be like, oh, okay, like if I see them at a show, I can come up and talk to them about something. And then Zenny's over here stealing the show.
I agree.
Any words?
Feed me.
He's vibing.
He likes the chord.
Yeah, he's like, no, this is mine now. Podcast? No.
This is a whole thing. We're just gonna there's a whole section right here just playing with the chord.
Next 25 minutes are gonna be.
Would just be my cat Zenny playing with the chord. ASMR. Enjoy.
But I guess that's a good thing about your podcast was that it has a lot of variety.
Yeah, it's fun. It keeps it interesting for like, first of all, like for me, because like I get to like talk to different like types of people, and I've been enjoying it, and I feel like most people will get on. What are you doing? I threw it away. Oh, it's over there.
I threw
you need
it
it?
away.
Oh, okay.
Not allowed to go to work.
Are you in the camera?
Any words?
Any words, Daniel? Get in here. You're part of the podcast now.
Fuck her right on the pussy. No,
wow, that's offensive.
What a mark.
Cancel.
I haven't been in any of them. That's
Cancel. If you guys are wondering why Daniel hasn't had a second podcast, it's because he's an asshole.
Oh, that's funny.
He's a nice guy. Everybody, the creator of Chill Sounds and Breakdowns.
Claps. Insert audience clapping.
He's got a day job, folks. Subscribe, please, so we don't have to work. Fuck. But so you guys, how often do you guys get together to practice?
It depends.
Yeah.
Usually it's like Friday, Saturday, Sundays are like good for us.
Mm-hmm.
So like we'll like practice on like a Saturday or Sunday.
Okay.
We'll get together at Kobe's like on a Friday or something.
Okay, and then just like every now and again, you guys will do like your full band practice out here.
Yeah.
Because you were saying you have the room at EMP, right?
Yeah, it
Nice.
depends on when I'm available essentially, which is it sucks and I hate doing that, but I just have so many different things going on.
Mm-hmm.
But we usually plan the same kind of time per week, whenever. Usually it's once a week.
The fuck?
Usually it's once a week, but sometimes it just depends on how many shows we have coming up. So like we have no shows coming up, we don't put a bunch of pressure on practicing.
Yeah.
If we got shows coming up, then we try to make sure we get a couple practices in before we start shows. So it's just supply and demand of practice.
I feel that. And then like with bands, I mean, you have like a bunch of members in it, so scheduling is a thing. Like people have other things that you have to get into. So I mean, definitely aligning and like scheduling is like a giant deal to get together.
Yeah.
And then I mean, you guys have your like writing like method down, kind of where you're able to share that stuff.
And I guess that's a good thing too. About we like seized our own production.
Yeah.
Where
like,
I do most of the design work is I do. I do that.
Like the artwork?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He's the
that's
mastermind
fucking cool.
behind
Yeah,
it
like
all.
merch stuff, like any designs for like social media, whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
That's why it's really fun to say that we're kicking him out because he does everything.
And my MacBook does everything.
yeah,
MacBook plays in the
Mac.
band, designs.
Mac.
Damn. You guys need to do like. Do you guys remember the? I don't remember what's the band? Sky Eats Airplane, where they had their MacBook could do all like the program and stuff, but they had it listed as a band member, like on their
I love
this is
that.
old.
Yeah,
This is
I
on their
remember
MySpace
seeing that
page.
on there, yeah.
And like you would click and it had its own profile, and like it had like pictures of like the MacBook, like like next to like this chick, like on the bed or something, like with money. I'm like, holy crap, like this is the legit band member.
I love that.
But no, that's really cool. That's because of so much that it entails in being a band. Like I said, design work, stuff like that. It just streamlines it like a lot more for you. Like, hey, we need artwork. Okay, like, I just need to get down to it. I mean, it's got to put a lot more pressure on you to get a lot of stuff done, though.
Oh yeah, but no. Usually I'm just messing around in Photoshop, and then I'll come up with something and want to use it right then and there.
Okay, so it's mostly just like fun, like having.
Yeah, and then since I also print the merch.
What the fuck? You really
you,
do
he does everything. I
Hold
told
on,
you.
I want a list now. You keep popping up with new jobs that you do in the set.
Yeah,
Okay.
vocalist. I
Okay.
do designs. I'm the merch maker.
You print the merch.
Yeah.
And then and then your MacBook does the bass.
And my MacBook. does the
Who
bass.
records the bass? All right, cool. At least I was gonna say, damn, do you do that too?
Yeah, he's like,
All right, cool. We got you doing something.
Yeah.
So
So
you,
I have
so you
like
print.
I have like a closet full of like messed up designs or some cool stuff I have exclusive for me.
That's fucking cool though. Damn, that's really cool. I'm just like fascinated because like literally that's one thing I tell like because my roommate does like a lot of like engineering and recording as well, and I'm like I'm so jealous that if you have an idea in your head, you literally go in there and you put that idea down and like record it. And you can do your vocals, whatever. With me, like I just do vocals. So I'm like, I have an idea. I need help. Like so I go, I was like, I have an idea like this. Will you help me out, like, and record it and like help me figure it out in the first place? Like I don't even know what we're like doing. It's like, how does it go? And it's like this, and like you start doing like rhythms and patterns. It's like, okay, like but like that's another thing because I did grow up like playing guitar, but I never got into like playing like anything like electric or anything like that. I tried, but it didn't.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I grew up playing like a classical guitar, and then I went and played like I had like a little like flamenco group.
Dude,
band.
that's super sick. That's super sick.
Because I was like, oh, okay, like I have that. It's like, does that go into metal? Like maybe.
Classical guitar. I feel like if you take classical guitar like classes or lessons, that's like some of the best ways to get good at playing the instrument.
I'm sure,
in general.
yeah,
because
yeah.
you're learning all the different chords and scales, and you get this, the strings are wider apart and they're a little bit, and so it's like a good learning platform for you to then transfer what you know from there into whatever you want to play. So I feel like that's
it
a
was cool.
super good.
I just never like the gap from like playing the instrument, and then I had a gap where I didn't play anything, and then I started to like try to be in a band. It was just like far apart, and then I let it go, and I'm like, I should have kept practicing. And I still have it. Like I still have my guitar in there, and I'm like every now and then I was like, I can still do some stuff. But did you guys all like you've done vocals in all the bands that you've been in and part of, or have you like done other instruments?
Yes. Well, no, I joined Despise to play bass because I thought it would be easy. I never played any instruments.
Yeah.
And then I got into it, and I was like, oh, I like this. And then I bought an expensive guitar, and then I started getting into that.
Oh, sure, okay. You've always played drums?
Yeah. I've only played drum. I can play a little bit of guitar. Like in one of my other bands, I always joke, like the bassist will say he wants to switch. He's like, dude, let me play drums. And I'm like, all right, I could probably, like, I'm down to literally play a show on bass.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, I don't think so. But yeah, no, I just play drums.
And you guys have always just played guitar, or do you spread into anything else?
Yeah, I started playing bass.
Bass?
Yeah,
okay.
that's how I know that bass is for
Bass
drums.
is drums.
Yeah.
Shh, don't, wait. Okay, yeah, DJ's gone. He played bass in our other song. But he did start up playing guitar though. But I think it's kind of weird. With bass, For some reason I always like thought like that was the last piece that I would put into any music. I'm like, oh, a bass player, like it's fine, we can figure that out. But then like there's some cool like shit with bass, and I'm like, all right, everything has its moment, I guess, to do it. But and actually we're trying to start a project, and I've only done vocals like ever, and like the little guitar knowledge that I have. But like we wanted to do like a 3-piece to keep it like concise. So I'm like, I think I'm gonna need to learn to play bass. And just, like, but I don't know. I might just take this MacBook, reference and just MacBook it that way. I can just sing. Fuck playing bass. Like,
easy way out, dude.
But I'm like, oh, that feels like it'd be fun. I haven't like played an instrument in like a while, like on stage to do it. I'm like, I feel like that'd be fun.
Bass is fun because it's more
really
rhythmically driven. I like bass because it's more rhythmically driven. Like, if you didn't want to do things with your left hand, you know, climbing around and stuff, you could still keep rhythms going with your right hand that are keeping things interesting. Like, it doesn't have to be crazy. I'm a very big fan of like cadences, even like because like in the band we had, I did singing and I did screams, but like when like with screams I would just always write off of cadences. I was like, I fucking love just writing cadence. Like I'll figure out the words later, like, but I wanted to sound like this, so just like figure out patterns that I wanted to do, which is why like I have like a big fascination with like with drums in every song. I'm just like, fuck, like if they hit right, then like the rest of the song like hits. You realize like every part is, but like drums are something that I'm always like, that's essential, that's gotta hit, like or else the song that's a lot of pressure on you. I'm not gonna lie, like I feel like a good drummer can make a band elevate a lot, but so can a lot of the other members. Like, but if the drummer's falling apart live or is playing a 2 and 4 beat every single song, then that obviously takes away from everything that's being written. So ultimately, I think the way the drummer style fits with the band is what makes it really pop. Yeah. So, but I don't know. Drums are very important, but I'm the drummer and I have bias. So
it's like I'm the drummer. Drums are important. They are important. All the parts are important. Especially like playing live. Playing live is so like, it's fun, but that's like when people really see you like playing, you know, your instruments, doing your like, you know, the vocals live, exactly how you perform them. It is a high pressure like time, but I feel like I've never ever really felt that pressure performing. I've always just been up there like to have a good time. And but yeah, I do see sometimes when like I'll go see like a band that I really love live, and it's like, oh, like that didn't hit, like they're recording or I've had the opposite thing where I'm like, oh, live I like that a lot better, which I love that feeling a lot more when like I literally like hear a song and I love it, and then I hear it live and I was like, that was way better. Like those are awesome moments, but live, like performing live is it's just something else. It's just like being able to see an instant reaction from people, like in a thing. Even though, like I said, some of them are a little weird because, like I said, the way I react to music that I really like is just like glued to the stage and be like, "Fuck, this is really good." It's like, what the fuck is this dude staring at me the whole time?
Yeah, that's me.
That's you staring.
I'd be doing that too. Yeah, I'm watching the drummer and start staring like, this guy's hating on me. No, I'm just crushing it, dude. I don't know.
It's like I'm crushing. I don't know what you're talking about. That's so performing live, you guys are definitely taking a step to do that a lot. I'm sure that's going to continue into next year, but I mean, other than that, you said some of you have like other projects going around.
I have 1 billion projects going on.
Really?
Yeah. I'm in 4 other bands, so that's why my scheduling. So I work a full-time job. I'm in 5 bands total, and I'm in a startup company for like entertainment stuff. Yeah. Like any events or like honestly, it's for anything you need. We're trying to be like a one-stop shop for anything you need in the music industry, because we're trying to create like a crazy synergism between anybody who does music. So if you're a producer, this guy needs music, they need a producer and they don't know anybody. We make that connection for you. They get their product they want. The producer gets what they need. Yeah. And we get a little bit off the top, and it gets everybody connected and people know each other. And so it's like a networking business. Yeah. I'm trying to get to. So I have 5 bands, and then full time at UPS, like I said.
I feel like that's the destiny of any like drummer.
Yeah,
is, like,
no,
to be
it's
in
not.
multiple-
Every drummer I talk to, even touring drummers, they're like, "Yeah, it's the life. Yeah,
That's
it's
it.
the,
Like,
it's the
if
life.
you're-
It's what happens."
Like if you're a good drummer, it's like everybody's gonna ask you to
That's
be a
what
drummer.
happens,
'Cause it's so hard like to find.
Look at John,
Yeah.
Flores, and he's
He's in
he's in a touring band, and he's in a bunch of
and he's a bunch of other projects, and he does like work for. He wrote drums for one of our songs. Like, literally, he literally came by one night. He's like, "Yeah, I write drums." He came by, he like wrote. We hung out. I'm like, dude, like, what do you do? He's like, "Yeah, just do it all for anybody." It's a nice, the sweetest dude though. in the
Super
world.
awesome guy, yeah.
Super,
Great guy.
super
Love him.
nice guy. He's like, I think they're just coming back from tour. They've been.
Yeah, they just finished,
man.
I think. Yeah, with was it Volumes and Burials?
Yeah.
Crazy tour to go on, dude.
Insane. That dude was on my couch like right before he left. For
Oh,
that
they were.
tour. And I'm like, I was like, this
wasn't
is insane.
Sentinels on that too? Literally all of
they weren't.
Sentinels
I
is
wish
with
they were.
Shadow of Intent.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's
That shit's
I'm
wild.
watching all of these drummers that I follow like go on tour together, and I'm like, dude, this is dope to see. Everybody
It's cool
like,
though.
yeah.
Like it's cool. One of two reasons. One is they deserve it. Like that's fucking. You see
Yeah,
people work hard
absolutely.
and they're like, okay, cool. Like they're actually getting the recognition and like stuff that they deserve. And two, you know, they've earned it. Like they've
They've been around.
been
Yeah.
around. They've done like their job. Like I didn't know how young John was actually when I started talking to him. He was like in his early 20s, and I'm like, holy fuck, you've done so much and been in so many fucking bands.
Yeah.
Like by now, like he's
Stuck
fucking
with
insane
it,
to me.
man. Yeah, that's what happens when
And
you
he's been
stick with
doing
what
it,
you
and
love.
he's just been like just getting better and things like that. So it's really nice to see drive and like I said, like that. Even like with anybody, you just like me right now hearing like the amount of material you guys are writing, the amount of shows that you guys are playing, like that's, and then the fact that you guys are enjoying yourselves like doing it, that's the thing. Like it's not, hey, we're doing this like for really like, oh, because we need to blow up now. It's now like you guys are just like having fun like and writing music because it's like what you love to do. And I feel like that comes through, and the more I start going to more I've been to shows, and the more that entices me more than like, along with like the music being good, I'm like, I like to see bands like just fucking enjoying themselves and doing what they love on stage, off stage, and it's cool. I feel like you guys have that nice chemistry and dynamic with each other, which is what you need, like for bands to work and just to have like a good time. So no matter like where this goes, like you guys are having fun writing this shit, and it's it's a good time. I'm definitely glad you guys got a chance to stop by today, man.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as you guys have anything else that you're putting out, send it my way.
Oh yeah,
I need
I
some
don't think it's
shit.
gonna be much longer.
Punch stuff too. But no, really, yeah, absolutely. Like I said, after this year, it's gonna be open anytime for anything. So if after that, like you guys are putting something out or anything you guys want to come by and talk about, promote,
yeah.
you're always welcome back.
Dope.
You guys are
Yeah.
definitely welcome here. Zenny loves you.
Zenny's vibing.
Camera can't see over there, but
Napping.
he'll say a lot once you leave. He's nervous. But no, again, I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your schedules. Very busy
Yeah, thank
schedules
you.
I've learned today to stop by and talk here. But yeah, if anything, I'll link all your stuff down at the bottom of the video. Spineless, look them fuckers up. If you want to punch walls, don't listen to this because it will make you punch walls, and then you don't get your security deposit back. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. But again, thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one. Woo! We did it, guys.